Alright guys, welcome to the Homework Check 2 bonus activity. If you complete the activity, it will add some number of points. I'm thinking 30% to your Homework Check 2 score. So if you only were able to complete 70% of the activities, you can still get 100. I want to show you an action first, and then we'll make it really quickly. So it's a banking app. It's got, you can see a picture of Gringotts, which is Harry Potter's bank, and a galleon balance of 0. And I've got two buttons, toss coins and make deposit. When you hit toss coins, you're going to create a random number of galleons on screen between 1 and 20, and they're also stored in a table called coins. And then when you hit the make deposit button, what it's going to do is look to see if any coins are resting on Gringotts. If so, those will be deposited in your account. The other ones will simply disappear. So we just have 2 in our account, and you can keep doing this, tossing and depositing until you reach the balance that you need to buy whatever you're looking for. All right, so I'm going to start with a new design. You can see what we're working towards here. I'm going to say File, New Design. All right, so I'm going to save it first. I'm doing that because I'm going to need to grab some resources, and when I add those resources to my design, I want them to be copied for me automatically into my project folder. Dronico doesn't do that if you haven't set the project folder, and the way you set the project folder is just by saving your design. So I'm going to head into our class stuff, and I actually already have a Homework Check 2 follow along activity, and I'm going to call this one Gringotts. Not 100% sure I'm spelling that right, but that's what I got. Okay, so let's start with our resources. Then I need the bank. That's an image, and I'm using the bank image from the chapter resources from chapter 9. And so I'm going to size it. I don't want it too small, but I think I did it close to 80 on the other one. 90. All right, we'll go 90. I need the galleon, also from that chapter, and I'm going to size it as well, a bit smaller. I don't know why that got out of sync. Well, we'll start with something like that. I do have a fancy background, which we can add if we want to. I just got this off of Pinterest, believe it or not, and also going to size it something more like that. And I'm going to rest Gringotts on the little hill right here, which will be close to the center of the screen. It doesn't really matter if you want it in the center. You can adjust things however you want. Let's save it and see if that's what we have. So we do, and now I don't like it off to the side like that, so I'm going to put it back towards the center, and I'm going to move the hill, put the hill where I want it. All right, let's see what that looks like. All right, very artistic. I need text for the bank balance, so it's going to start out at 0. That's not a great font, so or it's a fine font, but it's way too small, and probably needs to be bolded. And the color's not awesome either on the white bank. So what I did in the demo one was actually had a front color that was gold, and then I had a color behind it which was really dark gray to make it kind of pop out. I'll leave that to you to do if you want to. Let me think. So we need 2 buttons. So I'll head over to widgets, and I'm going to create the buttons in 2 steps. I'm going to create the first one. It's a shape button, and I'm going to put it, tell you what, I cannot see anything with this image here, so I'm going to hide the image for the time being. All right, I'll add it back when I have everything set up. So the top button was toss coins, or something like that. I don't love the font. I don't love the huge stroke. Not a huge fan of that color either. So you can customize all of this. The font is kind of large. So I'm gonna play around with this until I get it the way I want it. And then instead of having to do this for a second button, I'm just gonna duplicate that button. And Drawnocode's smart enough, obviously, to populate your stack with a second handler for this new button. And this is make deposit or something like that. I forgot what I called it. So now we have two buttons that are labeled and in the right positions, and everything's looking pretty good. All right, let me see. Well, so let's work on the buttons one at a time. Toss coins is the first obvious one to work on. So let me pop the stack out. All right, so I'm in toss coins. Here's the button in the stack. So here's the press handler for the button. Here's the snippet that we'll want to work in. So I'm going to pop that out. I will need to create some app variables, which I forgot to do. So let me put this aside for a moment and head over to snippets. I need a new snippet. I'll call it app variables. Okay, and I'm going to I need a table to store the coins. So I'm going to call it coins and make it an empty table. And sorry, let me zoom into this. Create coins, make it an empty table. And then I need a variable to keep track of the number of coins in the bank. So I'm going to call it in the bank and start it out at 0. Those are my two app variables. Okay, so back to this snippet, which is the response to toss coins. What do we want to do when we toss coins? So we want to create a random number between 1 and 20. There are lots of ways to do that. I'll want to put it in a variable, so I'll say nCoins equals math.random 120. Let's see if that works. And then I'm going to print that just to have a look at my number to make sure it's doing what I think it is. Let's save it and just double check. There we go, 11. Okay, that menu bar is annoying me, so you guys should. A couple of things I'm going to leave for you to do. So I'll eliminate the menu bar to that list. Okay, so now I need to create the coins. So I'm going to use a for loop. I'm going to go from 1 to n coins. And now I need to create the coin, which I've got right here. So I'm gonna select that coin. I'm gonna head up to the edit menu and pull it down and say copy the script objects code to the clipboard. Now that I have it on the clipboard, I'm gonna head back to the snippet that I've now lost. Go, just make this bigger so I can see it. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that right there. This is set up for the coin, which is called object 2. I'm going to randomize the X and Y location. You guys know how to do that. So it's math.random. X I normally do 20 to 300, and Y we'll do the full height. So it'll work nicely on taller screens as well. So 0 to 480. That should create a bunch of random coins. Let's check. Hey, those do look awfully large, I will say that. You can keep them that size or make them smaller. You can also play around with, you can toss, 30 smaller coins or kind of whatever you think makes it fun. The goal isn't necessarily to duplicate what I've done, but to make your great game that meets these requirements. Okay, what next? I've lost my snippet again. Well, I want to put it in the table. So the table is coins. The index is n, which is the loop counter, and I'm going to set that equal to object 2, which is the coin. And just because I can, I'm going to resize this coin to, let's do 80 by 80. So I could resize the coin in the stack, but that is no longer this. This is now a paste of that. This coin is still being created, but it's off screen. And so I can pull it out of the generated code as well now because I'm not using it. Okay, so that's all we do for toss coins. Next up is make deposit. So make deposit will look to see, it will loop through the table, and it will look to see whether any of the coins are on the bank. So we're going to use our overlap check function that you guys have used before. So it's in functions and detect overlap. So you want to add that to your stack and move it on up. Oh, I forgot to move add variables up, which I would normally do. So I'm putting that up there as well. Okay, so the make deposit button, its snippet is right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is move through the coins table. So I'm going to say for n equals 1, 2, num coins do end. And I want to, let's just do the overlap checker first. So let's say if overlaps coins n, comma, and the bank is right there, object 1. That was the first thing we added. Then end. Let's start just by saying print coins n dot id is on the bank. Let's see what that gets. Let's see what that gets us. Hopefully smaller coins, yeah. And then if I hit make deposit, I think we'll see these 4 coins show up. There we go. We got 5. Oh, I forgot to, so it's saying object 2, the ID is object 2. I wanted to change that. So let me head back to that first snippet we were working on. Instead of saying object 2, I want to say the ID is, let's say, galleon, and then a number, which would be n. All right. That'll give us a better idea of which coins are over. There we go. So in this case, we got galleon 1, 3, 8, and 13 all on the bank. So the make deposit feature is going well. So if the coin does overlap, I want to put it in the bank. So I'm going to say in the bank equals in the bank plus 1. And after the loop, I'll go ahead and update the bank, the number on the bank, which is object 4. So I'll say object 4.text equals in the bank. I also want to get rid of the coins. So at the end of the very last thing in the loop, I'm going to do is remove the coins one by one. So I'll say display dot remove coins n. So that will, as each coin is processed, it will check for overlap and then remove it from the screen. And then I'm also gonna clear the table out when I'm all done. So I'll say coins equals open close parentheses. So that also clears out my coins table, so I can use it for the next button press. Let's see if that works. Toss the coins. Not a great toss. I've done better, but there we go. I got 2. You can hardly read that. That drives me crazy. Let me see. Oh, did it again. I selected it, but somehow the mouse stayed on it. Mouse and problems today. But now I've got the second one, or there's a first one and a second one, but I'm going to make the second one dark gray, black, something like that. And I'm going to move it behind the first one to give us that, that drop shadow kind of look. Use the cursor keys to move it to where I want it. So that's the UI. let's put our background image back in, and let's play it. All right, so toss coins, make deposit. Okay, so I forgot to update the shadow. So in the snippet that's hiding, all right, I want to also say shadow is object 17. Text equals in the bank as well. So they are locked together. All right, toss coins. That's a good toss. Look at that, 6. I actually think that's the record at this point, and you keep doing that. So in the example, I also put a little label under the bank that said Gringotts, just so that you knew what was going on. There's probably some additional interface tweaking that we can do, but I think I've hit everything I had in the main design. Toss coins looks like this. Uses a for loop, loops through the coins, creates the coin objects, stores them in a table. The make deposit button also uses a for loop, loops through the coins, checks the overlap. If there's an overlap, it increments the bank account. It displays the coin, or removes the coin from the display, zeroes out the table, updates the bank. That is Gringotts coin toss challenge. You can't keep doing this, but obviously you're trying to beat 6 at this point. That's the record. So in addition to that, as you finish it up, I'll be looking for some sound effects. Also, I did in the original, I had the little text here that said Gringotts. I had it in Harry Potter. The size is fine. I had it right here. So I want you to make it, add the tap listener to it, so that when you tap it, it zeroes the bank account out. So that's how you would reset the bank. So add sound effects, add a tap to Gringotts to reset the bank to 0, and eliminate the menu bar. Don't like that menu bar. All right, that's the Gringotts Coin Toss Challenge, which is the Homework Jack 2 bonus follow along activity. Have fun.